I just want to give some statistics as well around lung cancer in Australia. I obviously there are larger figures for America, but it effectively 25 people a day die from lung cancer. 12,500 Australians will be diagnosed with lung cancer in 2017, and that's 34 people a day. Lung cancer has one of the lowest survival rates of any cancer in Australia. 15% of Australians are alive 5 years after their diagnosis. Now, as I said before, that's not necessarily accurate now because these figures have been done based on the previous treatment for lung cancer, not necessarily immunotherapy, because it's only really been around in the last 10 years. So these are old. This is old data, really. There is a massive stigma with lung cancer that you must have smoked if you've got lung cancer, and that's just an absolute fallacy. You can get cancer in your lungs if you have a set of lungs. They're the facts. That is undeniable. Over a third of people with lung cancer have been confronted with this stigma around they must have smoked if they've got lung cancer. 90% of Australians believe that is the only risk factor, and that is just not true. 1 in 3 women diagnosed with lung cancer have no history of smoking, and 1 in 10 men have no history of smoking when they're diagnosed with lung cancer. And at the end of the day, even if you have smoked, you shouldn't be blamed for having lung cancer, because they cannot necessarily associate your diagnosis of lung cancer with the fact that you have smoked. It may put you in a higher risk factor group, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the reason you've got lung cancer. So please don't believe that about yourself. Lung cancer is often diagnosed late, as was the case for me, already stage 4 when I was diagnosed, because I had virtually no symptoms at all. Nothing that I would have ever attributed to lung cancer. And in fact, I went to see a lung specialist after I had 2 rounds of pleurisy really close together after some surgery that I had. And because I had no history of cancer in my family, no smoking, I didn't drink, I hadn't been in a job that was associated with any of the risks for lung cancer. The lung cancer specialist said the little shadow that he saw in the CT scan was probably from inhaling vomit during my surgery, and that's what it was put down to, and I was sent away. And not 10 months later, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. So do you see what I mean? Like, you can be diagnosed very, very late because your symptoms don't indicate or aren't attributed to you possibly having lung cancer. So you do need to keep following it up. If you think something's wrong, if you think you may have a symptom, you need to get it checked out. You need to be persistent, really persistent with your doctor. There is no national screening for lung cancer in Australia, and there needs to be, because even though I still may not have been screened or in the group that got screened, so many more people would be picked up if there was screening available, and there needs to be a national screening for lung cancer. So all I'm saying is follow through. If you've got unexplained back pain, if you've got a cough, if you've got an unexplained pain under your ribs, if you feel unwell, you're losing weight, any of those things, please go and seek out a GP and persist until someone sends you for a CT scan and you get the all clear. I know CT scans aren't always completely accurate, but don't just accept that nothing's wrong if you feel that something's wrong. You know in yourself if you don't feel well and you need to pursue it. Please do that. Please do that.